Hey everybody, how you doing? Hope you're well. The City of Oakland City Council passed an adjustment to a law that's already on the books that has some, landlords up in arms, but it happens and has happened for a specific reason. Let me get to what that law is. It is entitled the Ordinance Amending Chapters 8.2 of the Oakland Municipal Code, Residential Rent Adjustments and Evictions to 1. Make the annual permissible rent increase for covered units 60% of the percentage increase in the consumer price index or 3%, whichever is lower, and align the annual adjustment period with state law. That's what this seeks to do. The reason this was done is because had it not been done, landlords wouldn't have been able to increase the rent by 6% or more as a way of, because the law allowed them to basically recover lost percentages. That is no longer the case. It says in the ordinance, which passed unanimously, that in the underlying portion, it's very important to read this carefully. It reads, beginning on August 1st, 2022, the consumer price index rent adjustment is 60% of the percentage increase in the consumer price index. All items published for April of that calendar year from April of the immediately preceding calendar year calculated to the nearest tenth of 1% or 3%, whichever is lower, okay? And the other reason that was done is because Oakland and Alameda County realized a 22% increase in number of homeless people. 22%. The majority of homeless people in Alameda County live in Oakland. The other problem is that many landlords haven't recovered money from rent not paid to them and have claims into the state of California that have not been paid. They also represent their tenants. So I think what should have been done in this instance was something comprehensive. That is, do what Oakland District 4 Councilman Shang Tao wants to do, which is create a giant tax increment financing district of the flatlands of Oakland, similar to what we did when redevelopment was active prior to Jerry Brown killing it in 2011, and then take that tax increment money, that revenue, float a bond against it, raise about $2 billion, and they use that to help tenants by paying their back rent for them to their landlords. That would clear the problem, and the city could do it by itself without reaching to the state for assistance or waiting. This is something we can do right now. I'm not saying the landlords shouldn't have their increase, but I am saying that we have to recognize as a city that landlords are people too. And in particular, small landlords are just like you and me. I'm not a landlord. And they need relief because they have been hit by this dramatic loss in income faced by their own tenants. But what's done in the case of Oakland with public policy in this very complex situation is, rather than think systemically, like if we do this, we're not addressing that, or if we do this, it may cause that, we just do one thing and we don't think about the consequences. So now you have landlords that arguably sought rent relief as some type of, well, just that, and they're going to go wanting. When we have AB 464 right there on the books, state law, that allows us to use tax increment financing to be applied to the resolution of small business problems within that area or within the community as defined by the public financing authority that the city of Oakland would have to assemble as per Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District law. We could really do this right. Again, I'm not opposed to, obviously as a renter, I'm not opposed to a reduction in the increase of rent, but I am opposed to a situation that puts landlords in untenable financial situations. And I think that's what this does to a degree. There is a win-win that can be achieved between landlords and tenants. This helps the the tenant, but it doesn't help the landlord. We need to get subsidies to these landlords to make them whole. And we need to dramatically increase the number of commercial businesses that receive rent payment assistance, the small ones, so that they can remain. There are actions we can take, but Oakland government it doesn't take them. Taxing someone or reducing the taxation is one thing, but getting subsidies where they're needed the most, the city seems allergic to that. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com, and join me tomorrow when I have Violator, the famous Raider mascot, on, and before Violator, Oakland Mayor Elihu Harris, my former boss, still moving and shaking. We're going to talk about the state of Oakland as the NBA Finals approaches. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com.